Hi, I'm Jess, and welcome to Spooky Movie Club. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Spooky Movie Club. Thank you for joining me for week 3 of Zombie Month. Before we get started on reading the back of the box, I just want to say thank you all for, Bruce is also very excited. Thank you all for, we have 53 subscribers now to the YouTube channel. Thank you all so much. You all very much also loved the Dawn of the Dead video we did last week, and I think that's probably a part of my beautiful modeling skills on the thumbnail. It's the prettiest I've ever looked, honestly. So thank you all for that. Very excited. We're going to read the back of the box for Zombie. But if you want to skip ahead to next week's spooky movie or my 3 things about Zombie, I'm going to leave timestamps below. Okay. Zombie, Lucio Fulci. Again, this was my first Lucio Fulci film. All right. The Dead Are Among Us on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. In Italy, it was considered the unofficial sequel to Dawn of the Dead. In England, it was known as Zombie Flesh Eaters and banned as obscene. In America, it was called Zombie and advertised with the depraved tagline, "We are going to eat you." Tissafaro, Ian McCulloch, Al Cliver, and Richard Johnson star in this worldwide splatter sensation directed by Maestro of Gore, Lucio Fulci. That remains one of the most eye-skewering, skin-ripping, gore-gushingly graphic horror hits of all time. I find it interesting that they don't really try to describe the story at all in the back of this box, because there's hardly a story. So that was interesting. Let's get into my 3 things. So my 3 things about Zombie, the first one, I have to talk about the gore. I have to talk about the Maestro of Gore, Lucio Fulci. I have to say that I was expecting it to be like over the top, the most gory thing I've ever seen in my life. But it wasn't that at all. And I think that may have just been me and like everybody hyping up Lucio Fulci as like this gore, crazy. It's crazy when you watch it. But I didn't feel that way. And I mean, that's fine, because I do have to say the parts that were gory in the film were extremely well done, extremely believable, very realistic. And I think that's maybe the point. I think back in the late 70s, early 80s, it was like probably the goriest thing you could probably see. But now, with all this modern crap we have now, CGI splattered blood everywhere, it's kind of not at that same standard. But the special effects makeup and all of that was so well done. The I'm talking about the eye. Okay, the lady's eyeball gets skewered, eye skewering, the back of the box, right through. I mean, that whole effect that they did was incredible, and you just kind of wanted to like cringe in your seat. You knew it was coming. They like led up to it, and you're just like, oh my god, I know that her eyeball is just gonna go, it's just gonna be skewered right out of there. And even like any part where they had skin being ripped off looked so real, and the blood gushing out and you could see the bones underneath. Or when they go back to see the wife and she's like laid down on the floor and the zombies are just eating all her guts. All of that was so well done and believable and gory in a realistic sense, which I enjoyed. I enjoyed all the gory, realistic aspects. Guess I'm a creep. I don't know. I also enjoyed, like, the gore. Gore was great, but I also enjoyed the makeup of the zombies. So I guess this is a perfect example here. He almost looks mummified. Like, he was underground, and they, like, put that, like, muslin, and almost as if the muslin kind of, like, got sucked into his skin, and, like almost like paper mache like or something like that. And like the maggots and the worms honestly looked like they were real and glued to this man's eyeball. It was so well done. So I loved the design of these zombies. They weren't like Walking Dead zombies or like, they were like, they looked like they were mummified underground, and I enjoyed that a lot. And I'm excited to see more Lucio Fulci films to see if maybe they get gorier. I don't know. Like, recommend your favorite Lucio Fulci films down below, and I want to see if they get gorier than this, or if this is like as gory as it gets. The second thing I want to talk about and bring up for our discussion are the characters. I felt that they were very lackluster. They had no, you didn't even care about them. Like, I could care less if this lady lives or dies, if this reporter lives or dies. It was different in Dawn of the Dead because even though I didn't really love like Francine and Flyboy, I still had like a visceral reaction about them. I still, like, oh, you're so stupid. How could you be so, like I still kind of cared about them and wanted to yell at the screen. But these characters, like, oh, I don't even care. I mean, even the lady, I don't remember her name. It was played by Tessa Farrow, I guess. The main lady, the daughter of the doctor, was the dumbest. I don't even say. I mean, I'm sure I've seen dumber people on screen, like as a character. But, like, she goes on her father's boat, searching for like clues of like where he could be, and then that creepy reporter comes up behind her, like he's gonna do evil things to her, and he's like, "Shh, I'm a reporter," and then she pushes him off, and instead of like, "Where are your credentials, sir? How do I know you're a reporter?" She's just like, "Why are you on my father's boat?" Like, she just believes this guy that he's a reporter. But I'm like, are you crazy? I mean, I guess the A's were fast and loose, you know what I mean? So nobody like maybe questioned that this man was a reporter. But then they hear police coming on the boat, and he's like, "Okay, I have an idea." And his brilliant, this reporter's brilliant idea is for them just to pretend to be like having sex on the boat. "Oh, we just came down here to like fool around." That was the reporter's brilliant idea. So stupid. Oh my god. And then they go on this tropical vacation with zombies together. And then at the end, she's like, "I don't want to leave this island without you." Like, you don't even know this man. You don't even know him. Oh my god. It was so infuriating. The characters, I just felt like there's hardly any story, and the characters were so lackluster. I didn't really get like a sense or care about them. So I wish the characters were more fleshed out, I guess. I like the characters better in Dawn of the Dead. I thought there was a better story in Dawn of the Dead. Whereas this, I just kind of feel like it was just all about the zombies and the gore and what they looked like. I didn't really love just like what was happening. It was just kind of there, the story and the characters just there. You know what I mean? The third thing I want to discuss, as I'm sure is what is on everybody's mind when they think about this film, if they've seen it before, is the underwater shark scene. Now, Rump has a lot of opinions on it, as you can hear. My opinion is, I don't even know what the F I was watching. First of all, again with these characters, she dives down without a shirt on. I'm like, what is happening? She dives down without a shirt on, and then there's a zombie under there, and I thought the zombie was gonna like sexually assault her, like he was like gonna bite a boob off. I don't know what was happening. It was really bizarre. So that whole section was bizarre, and then the shark comes, and I'm like, this can't be a real shark. The zombie's sticking his hand in his mouth. He's like fighting him and wrestling him and like pretending to like, and the shark is just like not doing anything. I'm like, this poor shark. And apparently they kept the shark well fed, so it was kind of more docile when swimming with the actor, and they also like was like putting tranquilizers in the shark, so it kind of like just was kind of like swimming, and I'm just like, why does this even have to be in there? That's the major question now, is like, why was this in there? It had nothing to do with the story. It didn't push anything along. I think they just were like, this would be really cool. A tiger shark, by the way. A tiger shark they used, okay? PETA obviously was not on set. Otherwise, this would not fly. But that honestly blew my mind that was even put in there. I think they just put it in just because they could. They were like, you know what? We got this shark that we can use. Wouldn't it be cool to see zombies underwater? And I do have to say that. Maybe that was their point. Was that this was one of the new, like the first zombie movies, but I've never seen a zombie underwater. After this, I can't remember the last time I saw a zombie being underwater. So I guess that was kind of cool. But the whole shark thing, I was like, what am I watching? What am I watching? First, he tried to sexually assault this lady. The zombie tried to sexually assault this lady, and then he's trying to eat a shark. What were your thoughts on that section? Because I'm still kind of I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Made me uncomfortable. But what did you think about the shark scene below? So my final thoughts on Lucio Fulci Zombie, my first Lucio Fulci film, is that I thought it was okay. The story was okay. It was a fine movie. I enjoyed watching it. I don't think I'll watch it again. In terms of it being a unofficial sequel, kind of bizarre terms, because after we watched it, I was like, well, Dawn of the Dead kind of throws you right in to the zombie mayhem, and they're about to shut off the news stations. And this, it kind of starts off more casually, like there's maybe a zombie or two, and then when they come back on the boat, chaos has ensued in New York City. So I kind of want to say it was almost happening at the same time as Dawn, maybe a little bit before, and then ends up kind of where Dawn ends. But I don't think I'm going to watch this again, but I'm definitely interested in seeing more Lucio Fulci films after watching this. All right, so that's Lucio Fulci's Zombie. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've watched it, let me know your 3 things below. We're going to get into what next week's spooky movie is going to be. And this also has a connection to George Romero. This is more comedy than horror. I've seen it one time, but I'm excited to watch it again. And that is The Return of the Living Dead. Look at those yabos. Okay, those 8008s right in front. You get to see the 8008s, okay? She dances. It's the whole thing. But the connection to George Romero, this should be just George Romero, George Romero month. But George Romero, I didn't do my research, like always. But I do know that George Romero made Night of the Living Dead with a partner, and when they split, the partner took Living Dead. That was his takeaway, that wording. And then he went to go make this. And this is more comedy, for sure, but it's got the best Tommy Jarvis in it. We love Tommy Jarvis. So they're back from the grave and they're ready to party. So that says all you need to know. The Yabos and that tagline. So buckle up, guys. Get ready for a wild ride. All right, that about wraps it up for this week's Spooky Movie Club. Thank you so much for joining us for Lucio Fulci's Zombie discussion. I hope you can join us next week for The Return of the Living Dead discussion. We're going to do our watch party on Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Discord, and then we'll do the live discussion on Saturday, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Twitch. I'll leave those links below, but if you can't make any of those, don't worry, because I'll be back here on Sunday with the review. Bye!